Okay. Clocked
This thing
in.
on?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Locked
it is.
in. You ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Here we go. Back again with another episode of Pod on the Run. It's been a minute. We've got some real exciting stuff in store today. Pete, how we doing?
Good. Like you said, it's been a while since we've been in the lab here mixing it up. We have been out doing some other cool pod-related things that'll be out in the next couple weeks as well. But yeah, glad to be back in here. A Sunday morning. This is a different change of pace for us. And I'm sipping coffee this morning instead of sparkling water. So this is a little a nice change of pace for sure.
Yeah, and we're inside, not outside, where it's pretty chilly.
Yes.
Saw you this morning.
Yeah, that was cool. New run group in town that just started up, the Chico Casual Running Club. Steve Solano set that up, and it was cool to meet him and a couple other folks that are running with them. And yeah, it was a nice casual morning in Lower Bidwell Park. I was glad to see you guys, though. I told you that. I was like, I was starting to hit my low. I'm trying to get home to some hot coffee. I'm really cold, and it was good to see you guys.
Yeah, Steve's cool, man. He kind of set up the Chico Casual Running Club. Allows people who want to go a bit slower, more comfortable pace an opportunity to get out there and get their miles. And yesterday, hey, we were hiking up North Rim doing something amazing. Call it the Allen Iverson crossover.
Yeah, for
with
real.
Tails, Ales, and Trails. Nick Woodard. What a day, man.
Yeah.
Each recording a podcast. What'd you think about that?
That was super cool. And we've been talking about that for a while. Like, let's do a pod on the run on the run. And so yesterday we got the opportunity to do a pod on the run on the hike. I'm super excited. Nick's a really cool guy. That was my first time meeting him. I know you guys have been friendly for quite a while, and to actually like jump in and meet him and hear his story and what they're doing with their podcast is super fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm really excited though to see the video he puts out for it. He's got some really cool equipment, and just kind of validated the fact that we're super amateur and they're like doing some next level stuff. But super inspiring and fun, and just a cool conversation and a cool way to talk. And I think too, you know, when we go on runs, whether it's just, you know, the two of us or a small group or a Bidwell Run Club group or a Chico Run Club group or a Chico Casual Running Club group, the conversation seems to flow really nicely when people are moving. And I'm sure there's science that says like when we move around, our thoughts become more clear and we have better conversations. So yeah, it was fun to get out and hike up North Rim, and the day was perfect.
Yeah. I couldn't have picked a better day to do it.
Yeah, January.
Yeah. And Nick with his go-go gadget arm holding out the camera was pretty fun. And you mentioned it. I mean, he had a lot of gadgets and gizmos out there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to be walking and talking and learning about what Tails, Ales, and Trails does. And if you're listening to this, go give them a follow, because they're doing some really neat podcasts and really neat content surrounding, you know, local breweries, including Sierra Nevada and what they've got going on. And obviously here in Chico, Sierra Nevada is a big deal. So it's neat to be tapped into the brewery and what's going on.
Pun intended.
Yeah. And learning a lot about research and science that's gone into producing these amazing beers for so many years. And how cool is it that they got to sit down with Ken and pick his brain? I mean, come on, let's go.
Yeah. And, you know, at the heart of it, you know, Nick was very clear that their goal is to tell good stories, right? Which is also what we're always trying to do, is find a good story to tell. So yeah, just a really fun conversation. And I think it's also worth noting that it is the beginning of the year, which is a lot of people are getting into training programs right now with some like big races coming up in the spring and in the early summer. And I know you're into a training block right now, along with a lot of other people around town. What's going on with that?
Yeah, Fleet Feet's launched their winter programs. I'm in the marathon training group led by Paul Smith and Coach Katie. And it's been amazing. You know, good thing I built up a big base of miles in December, because we're hitting the ground running and doing some longer runs out the gate. So far at an easy pace, but it's about to turn up and get pretty hard here. I imagine there's some tough workouts on the horizon. I feel semi-confident I'll be able to handle them after running so much in December. But it's a good group. As you know, these marathon training groups are so special. The camaraderie, the accountability, suffering together is so fun.
Yeah.
And it's just really something that's become enjoyable, because I see my friends on Tuesday and Saturdays. You know, it's like I really look forward to seeing everyone and getting miles together. And, on top of that, there's some races happening. 2 people in our group, Nimai and Neil, are taking part in the Reading Marathon, which is literally going down this morning.
Yeah,
so
right now.
Yeah, right now. Hopefully those guys are crushing it. I'm sure they are. There's both incredible runners.
Speaking of races, there is a local race next weekend in Upper Bidwell Park, the Froster Fog. Bunch of different distance options. Registration's still open, so check that out. If you go to the Fleet Feet Chico website, there's links to everything for registration there. I know there's, I believe there's a 5K, quarter marathon, and 10 mile.
Yeah.
All up in Upper Park, on Upper Park Road mainly, not like a heavy trail kind of run, trail-ish and road-ish. So if you're looking for something to do next Saturday, check it out. The weather's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great point. Jeff Merrill, right, from, was it Under the Sun?
Under the Sun.
Yeah, he's hosting it, and obviously Fleet Feet's involved, and BRC is going to have an aid station out there, and that's a fun route. I mean, it's kind of a sneaky, challenging run up Upper Park Road. I know you and I did it fairly recently, and we did it with the Fleet Feet training group a couple weekends ago. It's a battle, but it's a good run. It's good training.
Yeah, I did it a few years ago, and I did the quarter marathon distance, and the going out part is tough because it is such a gradual climb, but then coming back down Upper Park Road, it's an opportunity to kind of make up some time there if you're feeling like you can push it. So anybody that's running next week, good luck. If you haven't signed up yet, sign up. Go have some fun in Upper Park.
Yeah, and when you smash down Upper Park Road, you really get those quads working, and that can get pretty sore pretty quick,
Yes,
and a little painful during the moment. But you know what's good? In the studio today, we have somebody who potentially could fix you.
Yes.
If your quads are sore.
Yeah.
It's a unique guest.
Yes.
I'm really excited about our guest today in this episode because it's a topic of conversation we haven't really touched on. And you and I were talking just a little bit ago. We're going to get the opportunity to learn from someone who's really knowledgeable, really smart, runs a successful business in town, has a lot of runners coming to him and his crew for help with healing and therapy. Let's go. We got a special guest today. Tell me about him.
Yeah, so we've got Dr. Alan Hivale in the house today, local physical therapist extraordinaire, runs Inspire Physical Therapy here in town. I've had the pleasure of knowing Alan for, a year or two now, going back to playing some pickup hoops. I'm just going to throw it out there. You want Alan on your team. You don't want to chase this guy around the gym. When his shot gets going, it's just frustrating because you can put a hand in his face. You can close out on him. You can try and hold him down, but you can't. The guy gets hot and just makes buckets. So, Alan, welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. I think, great opportunity. I'm honored you guys wanted me to come and chat and talk, and hopefully I can give you some knowledge. I don't know if I'm that expert on my field, but I like to think I can help people.
Yeah. So before we get into some nuts and bolts of fixing runners, mainly 2 guys sitting in the studio right now, can you tell us a little bit about your education background, work background, what led you to Inspire?
Yeah. So I graduated Loma Linda University 2011 with my doctorate of physical therapy. So be at 15 years now. Started in the outpatient ortho world just right out of school. Knew that's kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to work in a hospital. So worked a couple years down in Southern California, just outpatient ortho clinics, just kind of get my feet wet, which I think right out of school is a good thing. You can kind of see a little bit of everything. My wife and I moved, we were engaged. We moved back to Paradise. I was born and raised in Paradise.
Okay.
Wow. So never thought I'd come back, but we were ready to get out of Southern California. She's from Oklahoma.
Okay.
But got engaged down south, and we moved back to Paradise 2014.
Okay.
Worked for Adventist Health up the hill, Feather River, 2014. As their rehab manager, outpatient manager, and then managed both inpatient and outpatient for the last couple of years up there, and saw patients in the ortho world, outpatient. Then the fire happened in 2018 that I think a lot of us remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
That changed a lot of things. I mean, I probably would still be working in the hospital if it wasn't for that. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed the people I worked with, but fire happened. I ended up down at most of our services up in Paradise closed, obviously, and we had one clinic in Chico that we kept going.
Yeah.
through some other hoops, I'll keep it short. I ended up at Right Out as their rehab director for a year. Adventist Health was acquiring them at the time, so that's down in Marysville. Worked there for about a year. They outsourced their whole rehab department to another company. Offered me the same position, but we were living in Chico. We found a rental in Chico, and we had our oldest son was 3, and our youngest was born 12 days after the fire.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
So we were going through a lot, and
Yeah.
I just didn't want to keep driving, commuting. So I said thanks, no thanks, and found a job in Chico. And just an outpatient ortho job. It was fine, but I realized after like 6 months that I need to do something different.
Yeah.
It was just hard. It's hard in that world when you're seeing so many people, and you get to the point where it's just like, I'm helping them, but how much am I helping these people?
Yeah.
And I'm getting burned out just seeing that many people every day. So that just led me down the road of, okay, I'm either going to change careers, or I enjoy PT. How do I do PT? How I went to school to do it. Started reading forums, and I found a guy that wrote a book about a cash-based model, and I said, well, I'm just going to try it. And luckily my wife was on board and said, go for it, because she knew like it was just I was unhappy. I didn't enjoy work. So she said, go for it. We're in our spot that we can try it. So I started it April of 21.
Okay.
Because April will be 5 years.
Yeah.
And it started just me, concierge, kind of like going to people's houses or their offices, meeting them wherever. So I just did mobile, and then started growing, and then got a space, subleased a small space from Northrum CrossFit. I was able to meet them, the owner. I just went to gyms. That's how I got into Fleet Feet. I just was walking in places and just saying, hey, how do I meet people in this active community of Chico and just make it easy for them to get care?
Yeah.
So I was going to local gyms and just meeting owners. I walked in, I got Shauna's name, met Shauna, and just kind of slowly built the business from there, and it's just been growing.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. You know, when we were walking with Nick Woodard during our Pot on the Run on the hike yesterday, and a lot of what we talked about was the outdoor community of Chico and the active community of Chico, and how welcoming and inclusive it is. And it sounds like you kind of stumbled into that as well.
I was not a runner by any means. I never ran more than a mile.
Yeah.
And if you had asked me to go run, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to run. I played basketball.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the sprinting stuff, and I cycled a lot in Paradise. I used to road bike quite a bit.
Okay.
So
the endurance side of things
was there a little bit, but the biking I had too many close calls where it's just like, this isn't worth it. Like, it's not worth me getting run off the road. So I just kind of, after the fire, especially in Chico, I stopped the cycling. But yeah, I mean, just sponsoring Fleet Feet events and doing workshops at Fleet Feet and just being around the running community. Yeah. It's just like, oh, I might actually be able to enjoy this.
Yeah. You found your people.
I did. It's an awesome group of people. And then I built trust with a lot of them, because then I started seeing some of them. A lot of the Fleet Feet groups is where I started, because I would go do workshops for them. And then people get hurt constantly. So, but they want security. And they want an easy way of, hey, how, like, the easy fix instead of jumping through all the medical system hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is that kind of where the concierge setup is really helpful? Is that people can come to you and say, here's what I'm dealing with. What do I do?
Yeah, I think that makes it the easiest, because for me, the other thing for me is I've gotten out of the insurance world. The insurance world of healthcare is just tough, and that's where you get stuck in the system of seeing 2 to 3 people an hour, and that's where, for me as a PT, the burnout starts happening. And when I get 15 minutes with you, it's like, how much are we really diagnosing a lot, and how are we just scratching the surface on stuff? So I went the route of, okay, I'm not doing insurance anymore, but now I get an hour with everybody. See less people, I get way more time with people. We can actually really figure out what's going on with people, but also I don't need a referral. And that's huge, because a lot of PT offices, you need to get a referral, which means then you got to go to your primary care. Jump through that hoop, who then they may get, oh, you need an x-ray, or you need this or that you don't really need. And then by the time you get into PT, it's been 3 months. Instead of just get on the phone and get in. Start
hey,
getting
Alan,
help.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Can I come in on Tuesday at 1?
Yep.
This is interesting, because not only are we talking to a physical therapist with an esteemed background, but I feel like we're talking to a successful businessman who had this idea and this vision to kind of go door to door and tap into community and then break away from sort of the insurance route in order to spend more time with his patients. Like, you've got a strategy and a vision, man. That's admirable. That's respectable.
Well, sometimes I wonder, did I just get lucky? I still, it's terrifying still.
Yeah.
But I think
Sure.
every business owner I've talked to in town, I've met a lot now, is like, oh, it's terrifying. And
Yeah.
you will have the ups and downs. But I looked at it like, what's my other option? Because my other option is, if I want to be a PT still, it's back in the system where I'm just seeing a bunch of people every day.
And it's not fulfilling for you.
No.
It's not fulfilling
Yeah.
for the patients that you're working with. I think that's admirable and important what
Yeah.
you're doing. And so I thank you for offering this in our community.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing, and hopefully, more people start taking advantage of what
Yeah.
you're offering.
And I think that word of mouth is spreading. But like you were talking about, like, Chico is such an active community. Like I have a buddy in Reading does very similar business model. They're another very active community up there. It would be harder for something like this to work in a community where people just don't care about their health.
Yeah.
Because then why would you go spend money on your health if it's not that big of a priority? Where I think Chico prioritizes health and well-being, I think, a lot more than a lot of towns in this country.
Sure.
I love that. And your philosophy, with this approach that you wanted to spend more time with patients and really noodle in on what you can do to help them, it seems like you're somebody who really, cares about helping people continue doing what they love when it comes to activity. Can you talk a little bit about your approach to treating your patients?
Yeah, so my goal is not to tell anybody to stop doing what they love to do. And that is a big thing in this. We see people all the time that had gone to their physician for whatever knee issue, foot issue, and they're just told, oh, we'll just stop running. Here's pain meds, rest, don't run anymore. No runner wants to hear that.
Yeah.
No cyclist wants to hear, oh, just don't ride your bike anymore. Like, that's just, they're not going to do that. And why would they? They shouldn't. So my goal and our goal is to really, hey, how can we help fix whatever issue you're dealing with while you keep doing what you love doing? Maybe we need to talk about load management a little bit. Maybe we need to decrease some things, but we rarely tell people, hey, just stop doing what you're doing. I've had a few where it's like an extreme situation where it's like, hey, you need to stop running for 2 weeks. Just give it a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, why stop doing something you love doing? Because to me, that's just going to be worse off for the mental side, for everything else.
That's my first thought too,
Yep.
is, telling people who run or, lift weights or cycle, you can't do this. Well, cool. Well, mentally, I can't accept that. And it's not going to be good for
And
my
why
mental
should
health.
you? You shouldn't
and
have
it's not
to.
going to be good for the people around me if I can't do this stuff that
Yep.
keeps me feeling good.
Yep.
I think that's a really important philosophy to have. And, again, like just this setup where you're able to help people meet them where they are and come up with a plan that's unique to them, as opposed to maybe in a different PT setting, it's more of a prescribed, hey, let me look this up. This is what we suggest for this injury or this path of rehab, where tailoring it to what they need seems so much more reasonable and logical.
And I think for a lot of people, it's what they want. And that's not to say these other PT clinics are bad or the other PTs are bad. Because like I know a lot of other PTs. I know a lot of the owners of the other PT clinics. People still get better.
Yeah.
And it's great. I think for the people that are looking for a little bit more of the one-on-one, more tailored program, less visits, we're going to spread visits out. We're going to make this more of a maintenance thing at the long run. I think that's where we're a better option.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Well, and when you're a patient, whether you're seeing a doctor or whether you're in the hospital talking to a nurse or a physical therapist, there's no worse feeling than having the conversation with somebody and feeling like they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, like if you're seeing a doctor and you're trying to explain to them what's wrong, you can tell when they're going through the motions and they're just like treating you like somebody that,
You're
they
just
don't
the next
care
name
about
on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, especially in our primary care physician world now, and like, don't get me on my soapbox about healthcare, but they're so limited on time now. I mean, there's a lot of primary care clinics now that you get 5 minutes with your physician, and you're essentially told you can ask one question, and so they're almost, unfortunately, because of the whole insurance world and everything, they've limited so much their time that they have to just go through the motions, which is tough.
Yeah,
because you only have 5 minutes with somebody. It's like, okay, you have knee pain. Here's your prescription. Here's some pain meds.
Yeah, and I'm sure most of those, healthcare professionals that are in that situation where they only get that short amount of time don't want it like that. That's not at all what they want. That's not what they get into healthcare for.
No, not at all.
To just go down a list. They're like legitimately passionate about helping people and improving lives. So I'm glad that you found a niche where you can actually do that.
It's been really cool, and I get to know my patients so well, and it's like now, like that's why I started running. I've gotten to know them so well, so I started volunteering and setting up our little booth at the runs. And I was talking to my wife about this morning. I'm like, I did not run at all until I sat at my booth at the first Fall Classic half marathon. So it was 3 years ago. 2024. And after sitting there, and it was pouring rain that day, and I was just hanging out the booth talking to people, and by the end I was like, I actually could probably enjoy this. And then I started running. I mean, that's how I started. I mean, it was just being around it. And around the people, and around just that crew of just people are just stoked people are out there. No one cares how fast or slow or it's just being there.
I think, you're a lot like Ross and I, who came to running late, same deal, like played a lot of basketball, baseball, doing all that stuff growing up, and going out and running, 8 miles on a Sunday morning when it's freezing in the dark, uphill was never on the to-do list.
No, I did that this morning. And if you had told me I was going to do that 4 years ago, I'd be like, not a chance.
No, I think I'll just
There's absolutely no way I'll do that.
I think I'll just hang out at home and maybe have some nice coffee and hang out with the kids for a bit.
Well, I believe I met you and ran with Kevin. Kevin was with us. And I think Apple. And we went
number one running dog in Chico.
Tied 4.
Hey, we don't have to throw that in
that's
there.
Fine.
Apple
that's
doesn't
fine.
need to know that.
She was great. If anybody ever wants to run with her, just text me. You can take her. Not a problem.
We're turning Apple into a celebrity here. Let's go. Local celebrity, Apple.
That's right.
We went up Annie Bidwell. I think we went up Bloody and maybe came back Guardian that day. But it was cool to meet you and Kevin that day. So it's been fun to rip a few runs with Alan.
It's good.
That's cool.
It's very cool. Well, why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and dive into some common running injuries and what Alan can share with navigating those injuries going forward.
Yeah, that sounds great. But before we jump into that segment, we're going to give away a pair of performance sunglasses that our boy Aiden hooked up at Fleet Feet Chico. You got to see these things. We'll take a picture and we'll post them, but they are flashy and they are slick.
Guaranteed to make you run faster.
And help your eyesight along the way. How can people win these performance sunglasses for free? But you got to follow a couple directions.
So these are Tifosi sunglasses. They're a new brand that Fleet Feet recently started carrying. And I do want to point out, since we have had the vegan badass Mike O'Connell on here, and we learned a little while ago that Alan is also plant-based. These are plant-based frames. So these are vegan sunglasses.
All right.
Mike, they got your name written all over them.
Wow.
So if you are interested in winning a pair of brand new red frame Tifosi sunglasses, again, like Ross said, we'll post a picture. When we on our new Instagram account,
let's go.
Pod on the Run.
What?
When you see the post for this podcast with Dr. Alan Hivale, jump on there and reply to it with your worst running injury that you've ever had.
That's appropriate for the episode today. The worst running injury you've ever had.
And just like we did with the gift card, we'll do a random drawing once we have what date do we want to put on that?
Good question. Let's give it a week.
Okay. So next Sunday, by next Sunday, that would be what day? I can't even think right now. The 25th. Yes, by January 25th, reply to our post about this podcast with Dr. Alan Hivale of Inspire PT in Chico with your worst running injury, and you will be entered into the drawing for the red frame, vegan, plant-based Tifosi sunglasses.
We're going to have to make a video too, like we did for the gift card giveaway.
Yes.
So everyone can see the wheel spinning.
Yes.
You know, there's no funny business happening.
Nope. We keep it honest around here.
Yeah, we do. And we'll pick a winner.
Yes.
Let's go.
Pod on the run.
Coming up, some common injuries that Dr. Hivale sees in Chico runners. Injuries. I just don't like that. I just don't like the way it sounds. I just don't like the way it feels coming off my tongue.
I feel like me and you are kind of the same in that when something hurts or like we're probably injured, we just keep going.
Yeah.
Like if I ignore it enough, it'll just go away.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good practice.
Probably not a good practice. Tunnel vision.
But if it goes away, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. The doctor just said it.
If it goes away, you're okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's definitely not like hibernating and going to come back five times worse down the road.
It might, but until it comes back, you're good.
Okay.
I think, we got advice from the Vegan Badass, which is appropriate when you consider the glasses that we're giving away here.
Yeah.
That I was thinking about. Oftentimes he said that, when you feel something, you may have something that's nagging you a little bit, keep going. Because more often than not, it's not a serious injury and it's going to work himself out. Do you remember that advice he gave on that episode? I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. And, we said it before too, but like running's supposed to be a little uncomfortable. Like it's not a totally natural thing to go run long distances or for long periods of time. So yeah, it should be at least a little bit uncomfortable sometimes.
A little bit.
Yeah. Not not uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And when it gets to a point where it's uncomfortable all the time and you've got some injuries, and injuries certainly do happen, and we need to be cognizant of how our bodies are feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's really important to go see someone. And with that being said, Dr. Hivale, what are the top injuries you see in Chico runners that come visit you?
I would say in our running population here, hips and knees are probably the bigger ones. As far as volume that we're seeing, foot issues are the other ones. Plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, calf strains.
Okay.
We'll get hamstring strains. So a lot of times it's more joint than soft. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's a little of both.
Some joint and some soft tissue
Yeah, it's
stuff.
a little of both.
Okay.
But I like you said, you can run through some pain. What I tell people is if you have some pain, it's your check engine light. It's your warning light of, hey, there could be something going on. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe adjust a few things. And if it gets better, great. If it doesn't, that's when I hate when I get people in here that get people to see me that they've not been able to run because their injury is so bad.
Yeah.
When they should have just come in months earlier and we could have addressed it then.
Yeah. So, my wife's a physical therapist as well. She works with a totally different population, but still has a lot of knowledge on like, hey, if this hurts, maybe do this. And the first thing that she always tells me if something is sore or doesn't feel right is ice. Ice it. Start there. Take some rest. Ice. What do you think about that?
You could do it. I don't think ice is going to fix anything.
Okay.
And I've gone down the rabbit hole on podcasts and other stuff like with pain management and ice. I don't think ice does what we thought it used to do.
Okay.
I'm more of a go move.
Okay.
Let's move it. Let's load it the right way.
What was your phrase? Motion
is lotion.
Let's go. I love that.
Wow.
I say that to a lot of people. Motion is lotion. The research I've seen recently because our goal with ice in the past was to decrease inflammation, right? I mean, that's what the RICE theory: rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yeah.
What I've seen more often now in research is movement and actually loading tissue will flush inflammation faster than ice ever will.
Interesting.
You know what's so crazy about what you're saying right now is I had a wild December where I was doing a ton of miles. And when I ran like a 23 miler on a Monday and got outdoors like an hour or two later and went for a 3-mile walk, when I woke up the next day, I was not nearly as sore as I thought I was going to be. And, the real deal Neil walks a lot
Big
after
proponent. Big proponent of that.
It's like recovery walks.
Because if you came home and just sat on the couch with ice on your knees instead, it may feel good with the ice on there because it's numbing it, but as soon as you got up and moved, it'd probably feel 100 times stiffer than you just going for a walk.
So, Alan, it's interesting that you say that. Back in the fall, I did the longest run I'd ever done up to that point, which was a 20-mile run. I got home, I sat down, drank some electrolytes for a few minutes, was watching football, stood up, and everything seized. Like, I had to, like, yell for my daughter because my wife was gone. I'm like, Hannah, get the massage gun. And, like, had to, like, get it on my hamstrings right away. And I you know, thinking about it, I literally finished running and came inside and sat right down. I didn't do any kind of cool down or stretch.
Yep.
Not surprising that happened to me.
No. But that happens to a lot of people because, like, I'll talk to people, like, people go do a race. They're usually finish the race, maybe walk around a little bit, get in their car and drive home.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a long drive.
Yeah.
And then they get home and then do some maybe recovery stuff, or their recovery is sit and, like you said, drink electrolytes, rest.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing, but then everything gets stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The icing element you just spoke about is really interesting because over the past few years, I feel like we've seen this massive cold plunge push. And are we kind of going away from that a little bit? Or you?
I mean, I think there is a lot of good research on the cold plunge, but
Gotcha.
not necessarily as an injury.
Gotcha.
Like not like, oh, you sprain your ankle, go ice it.
yeah,
It's more
go
of a
soak.
get in the cold plunge, get like the endorphins going, get the blood flowing a little bit.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I'm not a cold plunger myself because I hate cold water.
Yes,
But
Alan, we're on the same
I
team.
hate it. I'll
Get
never
me a
do
hot
it.
tub any
Yes.
day of the week.
But I have friends that swear by it. They
Yeah.
do it every single morning.
Yeah.
But they don't do it as a recovery thing. They do it almost as a wake up thing.
yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're seeing, you know, joint, soft tissue. We're going to throw some common injuries at you, and maybe you can give us like a short, here's a good way to deal with it.
Okay.
Kind of explanation.
Like a starting
exactly.
point.
A starting point.
Okay.
So
I'll do my best.
Yeah. The first one, super common. I don't know any runner that hasn't run into this at some point. Shin splints.
Shin splints is usually main culprit. Tight calves.
Okay.
Overloading anterior tib, pulling on attachment along tibia.
Okay.
Sometimes decreasing load can be helpful.
Okay.
I'll usually get into more when you have something really tight calves. Stretching is not the only answer, but starting to progressively load it and load it the right way.
Okay.
Eccentric loading.
Okay.
Starting to lengthen that tissue out, so then anterior tib doesn't have to work as hard to pull against that.
Okay.
I mean, rolling your anterior tib can be helpful.
I was just thinking about foam rolling.
Yeah. I think there is a place for foam rolling because there's plenty of stuff out there that says foam rolling does nothing. I think it helps a little bit. Shin splints almost have people roll more on a lacrosse ball.
Okay.
A little more pinpoint.
Yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable, but with any tissue that's irritated, causing some micro trauma just jump starts your body's physiological response to actually heal that tissue.
Okay. So hurting it a little bit more.
It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
No.
Okay. That's interesting.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Okay, another one. Another pretty common one. IT band pain.
Usually a hip mobility issue,
Yeah.
but it usually presents as knee pain, lateral knee pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on the side
That's
there.
usually where it'll present is like, oh, my outside of my knee hurts, and it's usually just where it's attaching.
Okay.
But you follow that up to hip. It's usually a hip mobility restriction. But then you can get into the glute. I mean, a lot of people have weakness in their glute or inefficiency.
Yeah.
Like if we don't want to call it weakness. So then IT band will try to take over to stabilize knee laterally.
Uh-huh.
And so it's overworking.
Okay.
And an overworking tissue will get irritated at some point.
So as an aside, have you had a runner come in that doesn't have some kind of hip mobility issue?
No. I'm trying to think. Most probably have some hip mobility issue. There are the certain subset of people that are so mobile they have a stability issue.
Okay. So
there are some of those that
Okay.
they just almost have way too much mobility and no stability around it.
Okay.
That's a much smaller subgroup of people.
Yeah, that's a conversation that my wife and I have a lot too. Is like, my hip mobility is awful. Like it maybe couldn't be worse.
You're probably not the worst out there.
Oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
How do you identify like problem areas in patients? Is it the whole process where you kind of lie them down how does that unfold?
It's a little of that. It's a lot of looking at motor patterns. Okay. So that's where having an hour for an assessment with somebody, we can do a lot.
Yeah.
We'll look at everything from balance, single leg stability, to really assess like hip mobility. I think laying down and actually like, let's look at it passively. Let's look at it actively. Like how much control of that range do you have? Do you even have the range? But looking at hip flexor length, so like psoas length, quad length, hamstring length, like all of that plays into how well our hips move.
That's so cool.
You know what I'm thinking right now that would have made this podcast incredible? I mean, it's going to be incredible anyways, but like another level. We should have gone in and had Alan do assessments of both of us to talk about, well, here's where your weaknesses are. Here's a plan to move forward.
Well, there's podcast number 2.
There we go.
We can do that now. You tell me when.
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful and fun.
Yeah.
And humbling.
Yeah, totally. And hopefully, we're not injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to tell us to stop.
No.
He's going to say maybe pump the brakes for a week or two. But yeah, so here's another one. Plantar fasciitis. That seems to be, I know a bunch of people who have dealt with that.
And it's funny how many people just live with it.
Yes. Right? Just feet that constantly hurt and never look into actually why they hurt.
Yeah. Or they just don't think there's a solution for it.
Yeah.
Usually, again, calf related.
Uh-huh.
Really tight calves, not letting that foot do what it's supposed to do. So then plantar fascia is just not able to. It's excessively tight through there.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times it's going after calf.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting the fire out in the foot because we need to do something to do some symptom management. But the long-term fix is usually a calf issue.
Okay.
Again, strength and mobility. It's probably a little bit of combination of both.
Yeah. So just a follow-up on the plantar fasciitis stuff. There's some shoe companies out there that claim, hey, use our shoes. They're more designed to fit your foot more naturally for running. Maybe it's the drop of the shoe, right? The 0 drop versus like a 8 or 10 millimeter drop. Yeah. Do you know much about that? Do you have an opinion or a thought on that at all?
More of a drop is going to help.
Yeah.
Because especially if you get if you are really tight in your calf and you get yourself a little bit of a heel raise, so a bigger drop, you're taking load off your tight calf. And in turn, you're going to take load off your plantar fascia.
Uh-huh.
Some get into we need to support your arch more. I'm torn on that. I think that's helpful, but some people just have naturally flatter feet than others. So why put someone with natural flatter feet into something with this big arch that may just irritate other things?
Uh-huh.
But I think I would think more of them, it's because there's a little bit more of a heel drop.
Okay.
I mean, 0 drops for someone with plantar fascia issues or Achilles issues probably aren't going to go well.
Yeah. And, maybe you know about this too, but like if you do go to a 0 drop shoe, that's got to be a process, right? You can't go from like a super cushion 10 millimeter drop today running, 5 or 6 miles with that. And then tomorrow morning, wake up and go, I'm going to run 6 miles on a 0 drop.
Because then you will come see me.
And
we've had patients that have done that. And then they realize after the fact, like, okay, that was way too much.
Yeah.
It's slowly working your way into them, wearing them at work, wearing them at home, and just slowly getting back to it.
This is fascinating because I just did this. I was rocking some Hoka Mach 6s with a lot of cushion and then like slowly got into an ultra experienced flow with a 4 millimeter drop.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit of time to transition into the flows. After a couple weeks, it really started to feel good. But there were a couple runs out the gates with those shorter distance where there were parts of my legs that felt sore that I had not felt in a long, long time.
Yeah. It's amazing what you like. Realistically, going from like an 8 millimeter drop to a 4 millimeter drop on paper seems so minimal, but I guess, that speaks to how complex the human body is and how what seems like a slight change in something like that is actually really significant and can have really significant, payoffs or fallout.
Yeah, potentially.
Like talking about hip mobility, like I tell everybody, you're tight. You may never have the same hip mobility as someone else, but if we got you 5 degrees more of rotation, that could change a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not, it doesn't need to be, that's why comparing to somebody else is not worth it.
Yeah.
You mentioned calves involved with shin splint pain as well as plantar fasciitis pain. What do you advise your patients to do with their calves in those moments when you notice shin splints or plantar fasciitis issues?
So a lot of people, I recommend getting some sort of a wedge that they can stretch anytime throughout the day. I preach, like, put it next to your bathroom sink. Every time you're brushing your teeth, doing your hair, just stand on the wedge and stretch.
I like it.
That's really reasonable too.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah.
But then the other side of that is that's your, we'll call that static stretching. What's the dynamic part? Eccentrically loading it, which again, a wedge is great because you can start doing eccentric loading on there, which is just your negative, but negative into a stretch and actually starting to do that because most chronically tight muscles have some sort of underlying weakness to them. So it's a combination of stretch and strength in the right way. And really, it shouldn't be that hard to do. I mean, you could do 3 sets of heel raises once a day. It's not going to take you that long.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people forget that, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else.
Me too.
Like,
so am I.
Yeah. And you do it all day,
I do it all
right?
the time.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the worst patients out there. So.
You mentioned this eccentric calf stuff. It's funny you should mention that. I'm going to put Pete the Form on blast for a minute. I ran with Pete last week, and he showed up at my house, and he's like, man, my calves are so tight. I did an eccentric calf workout. He did like 100 of them. And he's like, look at this. And he couldn't put his heel on the ground. And his legs wouldn't straighten out all the way. Yeah, I was like, that's rough, man.
I overdid it a little bit.
That's what he said. He's like, I think I overdid it. But anyways, he ended up, once we started to run, like you were saying, like sometimes that's what you need to do. And we started to run, and within a mile or two, he was feeling better. And I mean, you know Pete, he runs like a gazelle.
Oh yeah.
So even when he's like sore, you can't tell. But he was saying afterward he was going to see his partner, who's also a PT, to get some treatment. And I text with him, and he's like, yeah, I'm starting to feel better. Definitely going to take it easy on the eccentric work for a couple weeks.
There's a fine line of doing enough and overdoing it.
Yeah.
And we cross that line sometimes. It's not the end of the world. We back off a little bit and we keep going.
Well, and I think, maybe you'll agree or disagree here, but like pushing it to see what you can do is good, right? Let's push the limits, see how far is too far. And once you learn that, then you don't go that far again.
I tell patients that all the time. I said, there's a fine line, especially with a tendonitis or a muscle strain. There's a fine line of overdoing it and doing enough. We're going to push right to that line if we can. And there may be a day we overdo it and we learn from it. We back off a little bit. Just because you overdo it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. We just have to learn from it a little bit.
Yeah. So,
love that.
So we've talked some injuries. How about some myths, some physical fitness myths, some running myths that are pretty common, and then some things that are like popping up on social media, like do this for your running. And one thing that I hear a lot when we all have friends who are like non-runners and can't conceive of ever getting into running. And I absolutely understand that, and I'm not going to ever convince somebody that they need to run. But a lot of people say, I have bad knees, I can't run. What's your thought on that?
I don't think that... is it an excuse?
Yeah.
I mean, some people have terrible knees.
Yeah.
And at that point, if you run, it probably will hurt.
Yeah.
But most people, if they just start slowly and progressively loaded over time, are going to be fine.
Yeah. Right.
And I think the whole, running's going to ruin your knees in the long run. I mean, even if it does, would you change it?
Yeah. Right.
Like if you love running, why would you like give that up just because maybe your knees feel better, a little bit better when you're 65 or 70?
Well, I look to some of the folks that I know that have been running for a long time. Like I have a good friend who lives up in Oregon who's been running for 50 years and has had zero knee problems. Or even local legend Bobby Hastings. Right? Apple's best friend.
Oh yeah. Bobby loves Apple.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised. Apple's lovable. But, like that's somebody who runs literally every day for over 15 years who doesn't have bad knees.
Yep. I think if you do it right, you're fine.
Yeah.
I don't like the myth of, running's going to ruin your knees, or you have bad knees, you can't run. There are those people out there, but they're the ones that their knees are completely shot. They're already 70. Like, why are they going to start running now anyway?
Yeah, sure. True. But, younger folks like us.
That's right.
Right. If you want to do it, then do it.
Do it.
And I think you bring up a good point, which we hear from almost everybody that comes on here. Like, if you're going to start running, you can't just go out and run 10 miles on day one, and you can't go out and sprint the whole time. Like, go slow.
Yep. Yeah. Or you'll just hate it and you'll never go back to it anyway.
Yeah.
And it takes a couple months.
Yes.
To really get into it and enjoy the fruits of the labor. And during those 2 months, you may have painful knees, painful calves, painful feet, painful arms. Like
I experienced that. I mean, because I was telling you guys earlier, I didn't really run until a couple years ago. My SI joint hurt for months. Because I just wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
I think my shoulder, like you said, shoulder. I think my shoulders would burn when I'd run because again, just not used to it.
Right here.
Yeah.
On my arms, just like I'm not used to holding my arms like this, and
ankle, calves, like everything hurt for a few months. But it was okay. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and just keep going, and then it irons out at some point.
Yeah.
I am notorious for not stretching enough, not doing enough plyos. It's hard to get into that routine, but it's so obvious the benefits of it. It's nice being in the Fleet Feet marathon training programs or half marathon, whatever program, because you do plyos before you go run as a group. And I notice how much better I feel. Why? I don't know. I guess maybe... Why do you think this stuff's important? And do you have any advice for somebody like me who struggles to get into the rhythm of stretching and plyos and doing the little things that make a difference?
Like Fleet Feet's very good about doing some dynamic warm-up stuff. And dynamic warm-ups, I mean, how long do you guys do that for before they run? 5-10 minutes?
Exactly.
It doesn't take long.
That's a good point.
It's not this huge chunk of time, and just doing a dynamic warm-up like that and priming your muscles to go and move. I've seen some studies that it'll cut your risk of injury more than in half. Just 5 or 10 minutes of doing a dynamic warm-up.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be long. Like I've coached a few patients through a dynamic warm-up. Here's one little glute exercise, one hip flexor exercise, one calf exercise, and you're just doing one set of each quickly. Hey, now you've at least primed them a little bit. Now go run.
Okay.
I like it.
So can you give us 3 dynamic movements right now that we should be doing before every run? Are there like 3, like if you do these at the minimum, you're good to go?
Like I think warming up your glutes, an easy one standing, I call them standing clamshells, standing fire hydrants.
Okay.
Standing, and a band is super helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys use them at the Fleet Feet group, but a band where you can throw a band around the legs, standing clamshells, some sort of standing hip flexor, like standing marches, quick dynamic ones.
Okay.
And then just even like quick calf warm up, hops, split jumps can be great. Just a few split jumps. So you're just asking muscles to do what you want them to do now for the next hour, 2 hours, whatever you're going to run.
Well, that seems really reasonable, especially if the science is saying it can reduce injury by up to 50%.
Yes, just because most injuries occur because you haven't gotten a muscle ready to go, and then you just ask it to do something.
Okay.
And then you talked about stretching too a little bit.
Yeah, post-run.
And I like static stretching. I think can be very helpful post-run. Like I don't think we need a static stretch before activity. Static stretching before activity, you're not priming a muscle to move. You're asking it to relax. Okay. So I always tell people, save your static stretchings for after. But again, we all sit and watch TV every evening. Why can't we get on the ground for 10 minutes and stretch our hamstrings, stretch our hip flexor? Yep. Like it shouldn't be that. It doesn't need to be that hard.
Yeah, that might help me. Like if stretching is designed to help you relax, I'm gonna start doing that when I'm watching our lousy Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I'm getting angry and frustrated with this lousy quality of basketball, I might as well stretch.
You might as well get on the ground.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I think that's what I preach to people is just take 10 minutes every evening.
Yeah.
And stretch.
It's so easy.
It's easy, but it's hard.
It
because
is.
Again, like it's so easy to say, and then for some reason I'm sitting on my couch watching a show, and it's so hard to get on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, because couches are too comfortable.
Exactly. It's a problem.
Okay, so another myth. This is one that's actually shared by one of our fellow runners in town. You definitely know her, Melissa George.
Oh, yeah.
And she brought this up recently after having met with you. She said, knees over ankles.
Oh, knees over toes?
Or knees over toes, yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm all for it.
Okay.
I mean, I think that was an old, and I don't even know where that started. That was an old, and again, someone with really bad knees, we probably want to avoid it.
Yeah.
But as far as training knees over toes, every time you're descending a hill, your knees have to go over your toes.
Yeah. Physics say it, they have to.
Yeah. And so if you don't ever train it and you don't ever push into that, why would they be ready to accept that when you're now going down Green Gate or 10 Mile House and like you're going downhill?
Yeah.
So then your knees are just going to be fried because you didn't even prepare them for that.
Yeah.
So the knees over toes guy is real big online. But he's real big into hip mobility. He's real big into training quads and knees over. I'm all for it.
Okay.
For the right person and doing it the right way.
Sure. Okay. So one more, and this isn't so much a myth as like a social media fad right now. We chatted a little about it earlier before we came on, and that's running with your legs versus running with your hips. Can you kind of explain in like layman's terms what that means and then like where you stand on it?
Yeah, I had to look that one up because I'm not on social media that much. But
good for you.
Yeah,
it makes sense
good.
though, because running with your hips in theory says use your glutes more, use your hip flexors more, use those bigger our biggest muscle groups and our big movers to do the movement instead of relying on our calves, quads, hamstrings to do the majority of the work because they're all working together. I like the theory. Getting someone to practice it, I think, is a lot harder.
Okay.
Because just to tell someone, oh, run with your glutes and your hip flexors a little bit more, for some people, they might grasp that concept. For a lot of people, it'd be really a struggle to do it.
Yeah, right. If you don't understand biomechanics and you're not a doctor of physical therapy, that's kind of my feeling on it. I told you, like, I've seen these videos where the people are like, this is me running with my legs and this is me running with my hips. Do you see the difference? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's probably hard to see. But the other thing too is if you tell someone to run with their glutes or with their hips, but they have really poor glute stability and glute firing anyway, they're not going to be able to until you start actually teasing that out and strengthening it. And
that was going to be my next question. So then if you're going to run with your hips or your glutes, then you have to strengthen those and you have to have the appropriate mobility.
Yep.
It's like the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Where do you how do you do this? Where do you start? Where does it start?
Yeah, I think for somebody, like, you'd have to make sure they have good glute contraction, good glute control, good hip flexor control before you go tell them, okay, now go run with your hips. Otherwise, they'll never be able to find it anyway.
Yeah.
I was watching a video that was pointing this out. You know, how to run with your hips. Can you spot the difference? And I literally watched it 10 times before I noticed that when they were running with their hips, they were lifting their knees more. That was the difference.
Yeah, because they're probably focused. Like, the one cue you could probably give someone is focus a little bit more on your hip drive.
Okay.
So pulling hips forward, so you're going to bend your knees a little bit more. Yeah.
It's exactly what I noticed.
Yeah.
Fascinating. You just hit that spot on, Alan. That's amazing. Yeah. Dr. Hivale.
Yeah, it's like, is this guy an expert in this stuff?
I don't know about that. I like to help people. I feel like people get better, so I'm doing something right.
How about like posture or cadence? I mean, I hunch, especially like if I try to start going faster. Like, I notice that I lean over and I'm constantly trying to remind myself, straighten out your back. You know, what about that element?
I think posture, I think that you can get into that a little bit. Cadence is one I'll talk to people about sometimes.
Okay.
Because cadence, you can change their foot strike a little bit, like with a faster cadence versus slower cadence.
Pete's got great cadence. You do. You hit the ground a lot.
I hit the ground a lot, but also, I think, not to like really get into the weeds here. I don't feel like I have good hip and knee drive. Like I think I'm borderline a shuffler at times with the way I run, which, leads to like dragging my feet, stubbing my toe in upper park and yelling because my big toes hurt. But the cadence thing is certainly something that I think about sometimes.
Yeah. Cause like someone with a hamstring strain, if you increase their cadence, you're going to take some load off their hamstring because they're going to be pushing out their toe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they're not overextending. So I've had some people with like hamstring issues that are just kind of nagging. It's like, hey, don't necessarily increase speed if you don't want to, but increase your cadence, which is hard to do out running, but on a treadmill you could do it.
Okay.
Because on a treadmill you could set your speed.
Yeah.
And then work on just like cadence. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So then you're shortening your stride. You're pushing off your toe where you're not stretching hamstring as much. So I do think cadence is easier to work with people, but it is harder when you're just out running in the park.
That cadence, when I started running years ago, our good mutual friend Matt Kerrer, he's been a runner for a long time, right? And also very knowledgeable. One of the things he told me, because like I was saying, oh, my hamstrings are hurting from running. He said, well, your stride is so long. Like you don't need to be taking these long strides if you're trying to run distances. Sure, if you're running a sprint, that's a totally different style of running. Yep. So that was where it kind of started to sink in with me, is like shorter steps.
Yep, shorten your stride, increase your cadence, and now your hamstrings you're not loading them nearly as much.
Yeah, that and getting shoes that were the appropriate size changed everything.
Oh, yeah, that helps too. Posture is a tough one though, because some people's posture just is what it is.
Yeah.
And you could talk, I think upright, like a little bit of a lean is fine. Hunching is just not good on any of us. But again, like to try to fix everything, it's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
If you don't have huge issues with it. I mean, if you're having postural pain issues, that's another thing.
Yeah. But if it's not uncomfortable, then work on fixing the things that maybe are uncomfortable, as opposed to, hey, if it's not bothering you, let it go.
Yeah. Because you go to like a marathon, you watch everybody run. There's so many different postures and strides and all this stuff, and it's like, hey, they're doing it, and if they feel fine doing it, go for it.
Yeah, more power to them.
Like, why try to correct everything?
Yeah,
body's an amazing.
It's an amazing thing.
It's an amazing, and the mind too. I feel like the mind maybe at the end of the day is what's controlling all this. Yeah, we all have different postures and different cadences, and if you're doing your thing and the mind is right there with you, you're okay.
Yep.
Why don't we take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get into some PT confessions. We're going to see if Alan will spill the tea on what's going on in the PT world.
I think that's a great idea, but first we got to give some love to our main man, Mr. Dan Malden. You know what? This break is brought to you by pacing. Because running too fast too soon never ends well.
You've never said anything more accurate, Ross. We've all seen it. Someone blasts off the starting line only to burn out halfway through a race. Guilty.
Me too. And the same
I've
goes.
met somebody.
Bidwell Classic last year. Hey, for Ross Field. The same goes for your finances. If you don't pace yourself, you risk running out of steam before you reach your goals.
Yep, and nobody helps you set that pace better than Dan the Man Malden. He knows how to balance short-term wins with long-term strategy.
He runs with BRC, he bikes all the time, so he understands endurance, and he'll help you pace your 401k like you pace your 10K. Steady, sustainable, and smart.
Because financial planning isn't about sprinting, it's about building a rhythm that carries you through the miles of life.
Don't just sprint. Plan for the marathon. Call Dan at 530-500-2782. That's 530-500-2782, and let him help you find your stride. Time for some PT confessions. Pete, take it away.
Yes, so Alan, be honest with us here. Be honest.
It's the best policy.
It's always the best policy.
I'll be honest.
Okay, so as a physical therapist, have you ever not taking your own advice?
All the time. I'm the worst patient there is. Because I, like you, have terrible hip mobility and terrible ankle mobility. I've been getting better, but I know what to do, and it's still hard to do, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, and you're like literally in a setting every day where you could be working on it, Alan.
I should be working on it every day. Exactly right. I have absolutely zero excuse, so I will start being better today.
All right. So next one, what's the most avoidable injury that you see in your practice?
I think plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis could be very easily avoided.
Okay. And how?
Addressing it when someone first starts feeling a symptom.
Okay.
Because most people wait with those ones until it's so bad that it's like, I can barely get out of bed in the morning without like screaming, or I can't run at all anymore because it's so painful. Where 6 months ago or 3 months ago, if you just came in when it started and didn't go away after a week, we probably could have addressed it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't usually take that much to start addressing it.
So
Interesting.
if your feet are hurting, if your Achilles is hurting, if your calf is hurting, call Alan like yesterday.
If it's been over a week, yeah, do something about it. Either call me or go see somebody.
Okay. And one more PT confession from Dr. Alan Hivale. What is a physical therapy hill that you will die on? Doesn't have to be related to running. But
I think based off of most injuries I see, it's got to be a combination of strength or I should say strength or stability and mobility. It's not one or the other.
Okay.
Most people I see, it is not just one thing. So yeah, everybody I see gets a combination of both.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that Ross and I have been focusing on for the last 6 months. Is obviously both of us get plenty of cardio, but the strength
is huge.
It's not there, and the mobility training is not there. And so I know we've both added that to our somewhat regular training regimen.
Yeah, definitely. It makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
Most people I see with injuries, and I talk to them about a strength program, like runners specifically, aren't doing anything. They just run.
Yeah. Guilty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just like simple body weight strength is like a wonderful place to be at, right?
Yep.
You don't have to go to the gym and hit heavy weights or any weights. Body weight can be very sustainable.
Oh yeah. It's just doing some sort of cross training. Okay. But yeah, strengthening is huge. I'll die on that hill.
Okay, we've gotten yelled at by several guests about do some strength training. You can't just run all the time.
No, you are asking for problems.
I've got a curveball for you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
PT confession. I imagine you see everyone, well, a lot of people from the Bidwell Run Club, and they're probably all amazing patients.
They're great.
They're great. Yeah. Who do you like treating?
I like treating. I mean, honestly, I have not seen a runner in town that I've not liked treating.
Way cool. Because they're the best people.
They're the best.
people.
Yeah,
but
someone
they
had
also
to say it.
they show up and they want to get better. Cool. So I don't know if I have a favorite, but I would say it's cool because all of them are fun to work with, and all of them want to get better. And when someone wants to get better, they will get better.
Yeah. Who are some that you treat?
I've seen Amaya in the past.
Awesome.
I've seen Kyle. I've seen Logan. I've seen Melissa. I mean, we talked about that. I mean, there's so many of them out there that I've seen. Yeah. And sometimes it's a one visit. Sometimes it's more. It just depends on what they're dealing with. And the Fleet Feet groups, I've seen so many of them just over the years. Yeah. No, everybody in those groups are amazing people.
I love the Knifongs.
They're great people.
They're the best.
Yeah.
We saw Amaya yesterday.
I just saw her this morning. I was finishing our run and she was cruising by.
So nice. And Kyle's such a stud, dude. Kyle, I'm excited for Kyle. I think he's going to be doing some maybe CIM later this year. He smashes some half marathons and just really fast time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see his training and what he's doing. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just good people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears to another segment. Keep it, toss it, upgrade it.
Okay.
Some of the ways we kind of treat ourselves, or some suggestions that you have, maybe things to do. Foam rollers. Should you keep it, toss it, or upgrade it?
I'm not opposed to foam rolls. I think they can help to some degree. Don't use a foam roll thinking you're going to lengthen tissue with it. Oh. Use a foam roll more for moving fluid around.
Yeah, getting the
myofascial release maybe a little bit.
What release?
Myofascial release. Your fascial layers, all those layers of connective tissue that lay underneath your skin, getting those to move a little bit goes a long way. So I do think foam rolling can help with that. Don't think foam rolling is going to actually lengthen your tissue.
Love it. Dropping some knowledge on us. That's great stuff. Okay, massage guns. Keep it, toss it, or upgrade it.
I think they feel good. Like you said, when you locked up,
Yeah.
it helped you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. No, I think they're good to have. Again, don't think that's going to lengthen your tissue. It's not going to strengthen anything, but if it helps, and again, you get into that, is it creating some micro trauma in tissue that then just jumpstarts that physiological response of healing? I think it maybe does a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it does help with the pain response, because
Yeah.
it's like a TENS unit. When you beat that area with that, you don't get as many pain signals to the brain because you're overloading them with.
I love a TENS unit session.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix anything.
I love it.
It's like so I say keep it, but don't think it's going to fix your issue.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Something I have yet to try, and something that I think would be really cool to try, especially after some deep long runs, would be like compression boots, or people wrap their legs with those really cool, neat devices.
Come try them. Just give me a call. Come by my office. I have the Normatec boots.
Oh.
I think they're helpful. I
Yeah.
use them. Like after I did the trail half, I took them home. I sat in them. They feel good. They move fluid.
How does it? Well, what does it feel like? How does it work?
It just feels like I wouldn't even call it a massage. It's more compression. But the way those boots work is they compress from the toes up.
Ooh.
And they'll kind of deflate and inflate. So essentially, theory, you're moving fluid out.
Okay.
Okay.
You're moving blood. You're moving, you're flushing lactic acid. Just tell me when. Just come by.
Yeah, Real Deal Neil and the Forum both have spoken very highly about those boots, and they both really enjoy.
Yeah, and I think
them.
Logan uses them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think for recovery they could be they're nice, because instead of just sitting there statically and letting everything just sit, you're moving fluid out. Because the only way you flush fluid out of your feet is muscle pump action. So that's getting back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
If you're not moving or getting muscles to fire, you're not moving any fluid out. I mean, your venous system has to have muscle pump action to get stuff out. So with those, you can relax and you're getting some external compression pushing it out.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about ice baths on this episode. How about Epsom salt baths? Because be very careful what you say here.
Yeah.
I'm a huge.
People swear by them. Again, I don't know the science behind it, but I think there's something to it because it works. If it works for you, keep doing it.
Right. Well, and
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think that speaks
It's a
to
big point,
like
yeah.
a big part of science, right? Placebo effect.
Huge.
If you think it works and it makes you feel better, why stop?
Yep. Well,
It's
and
not
getting
bad for
back
you.
to like all the people that I see that want to get better, they will get better. If
Yeah.
you come to me and you already are questioning it and you don't really want to get better, I could give you all the right stuff and
Yeah.
you could do it, and it probably won't get better because you've already made up in your mind it's not going to help.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Epsom salt feels good, keep doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that magnesium, man, gets into that skin, loosens up those muscles.
Yeah.
I feel so much looser
Yeah.
and more limber in the
Yeah.
mornings.
And when you get that lavender scented one too, oh,
Even
man.
better.
Yeah, relaxing and
I
pretty.
stay away from the scented stuff. That's great. What about this? Like, okay, so months ago, Fiona's Forest is a holistic medicine, natural medicine. It was based out of Paradise. Their brick and mortar shop burned down in the campfire. She's got an online store. She sets up at Farmers Market Saturday. I was having some IT band soreness, some quad soreness. Poked around her spot at the market, talked to her. She sold me a salve that's supposed to help with like arthritis, soreness, muscle aches. I put this on when parts of my body are super sore. Dude, it's amazing. And it's probably just like, I don't know, some form of tiger balm or icy hot. But she studied with the indigenous tribes in North and South Dakota, specializes in a lot of plant medicine, did a ton of research, and perhaps there's some placebo effect involved here too. But do you, I don't know, suggest any type of solutions for painful areas for your patients?
I don't, just because I don't know a lot about it, but I do think their natural medicine path is a great place to go because I'm not a big pharmaceutical person.
Okay, cool.
So like you said, maybe there's some placebo effect to it, but I can guarantee you there's definitely probably some physiological something happening. Because I mean, you look at pharmaceuticals, they all originated from some sort of plant, something that then was synthesized or whatever. So I think someone that's studied it and knows it well, I mean, why not use it? Mm-hmm. To me, that's so much better than going and taking a pharmaceutical drug.
You know, again, I know I've had a bunch of these asides, but a while back I was talking to Andrew DeLugos, who's a BRC founder and moved back east, but he was a professor at Chico State in the kinesiology program, right? So same general area where you have your background in. And we were talking about recovery after runs. And he did a study on the effects of like Tylenol and ibuprofen on recovery. And, you know, he kind of said something that echoes something that you were saying earlier. And it was the best recovery if you're not, like, if you're sore, if, you know, you just need something, go for a walk, go outside. He's like, don't go straight to ibuprofen or Tylenol necessarily. Like, there's a time and a place, sure. Yep. But he's like, go outside. Go take a walk for 15 or 20 minutes. Yep. You'll be shocked at how much better you feel. And he said the science supports that too.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool to just hear this again and have it reinforced that, like, movement.
Yep.
Movement is better. You don't have to rely on other forms, you know, synthetic forms, whether it's, you know, Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever it might be, painkillers of some sort.
Yep. Motion is lotion. And then use the natural stuff. I mean, why not? Mm-hmm. You're not putting some foreign substance into your body, and if it helps, like, great. Yeah. The hard part with that is it's like the next person, there might be someone with a similar issue that tries and it doesn't work. Right. But hey, that's not.
But that's
you
everything.
Tried it, and that's fine. Yeah.
That's all.
Like the one exercise I give you may be great, and I could give you the same one, and it may not work that great. So we got to do something different.
Yeah. Motion is lotion.
That's right.
I feel like we got to name the episode that.
Yeah.
Motion is lotion with Dr. Hivale.
Yeah. Make sure that it's marked as explicit.
Careful with that saying.
Yeah, Good point.
Yes. My mom might see that one and feel uncomfortable with it. That goes back to a previous podcast that got marked explicit because we might have dropped a bad word or two. My mom was like, Peter, when I see explicit on there, it makes me think of like other things, not bad language. I'm like, it's not. It's just maybe some bad language. Thanks, great. Mom. Love you.
That's funny.
Okay, so you've experienced some motion is lotion across the world.
Yeah.
You've taken a trip to Africa recently. What were you doing in Africa, Alan?
Man, we had the awesome opportunity to go to Kenya. We have friends that moved over there 2 years ago. And since they moved there, he helps run a safari camp that his dad has run out there for maybe 20 years.
Wow.
So ever since they moved out there, they said, hey, when you guys are ready, you're welcome to come out here. So we finally were like, okay, we just got to make it happen. Because if we don't and we miss this opportunity, we'll regret it forever. So we were gone almost the first 3 weeks of November. So we did about 5-day layover in Europe and then 10, 11 days in Kenya. And we just happened to be there the same time they were doing their fundraising 50K. So that was just completely random. It just happened to be the same weekend we were there. So we got to do a little running while we were there. Oh, I did not do the 50K.
I was going to say a little
not
running.
Not a chance.
Yeah. Not yet.
No, not ever.
Alan, as someone who said the same thing, not yet.
I might die on that hill, but so we went to Kenya. It was great, but the 50K was fun because my friend that lives there he's not built to run, and he'll say this too. He's just not a runner, but he's like, hey, you guys are here. If you want to do it, let's do a 4-man relay, and what is it, 12.5K each. Uh-huh. And I'm like, hey, I'm down. He never runs, so he wanted to do it because it gave him some motivation to do something. And then we had a friend that was also meeting us from Ohio, never runs, so he started running like 2 months before, just kind of getting training for it. Wow. Now he's still running now, which is cool.
Great.
And then my wife was going to do the 4th leg. She ended up getting a bad cold while we were there and was hacking. And it was we had to get up at 4 a.m. to go do this thing. And with the boys there, it was just logistically, she's just like, if I do it, I'm going to die. And let me just take care of this. So we got one of my friend's staff members who's a Kenyan guy to run the 4th leg with us.
Cool.
Were they fast?
No, because he never ran. He never runs, and he still ran as fast as we did. So yeah, it was an experience running over there.
Wow. So was that like a trail run?
Yeah.
It was all dirt trail, some single track, some just dirt roads, all through the Mara, like the Masai Mara out there.
Wow.
What I didn't realize is the elevation was a problem.
Interesting.
6,500 feet.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Which I didn't like. I knew that, but I was like, I'll be okay. I almost died.
Yeah.
That was the hardest run I've ever done in my life.
I believe that.
And I had just done the trail, the Fall Classic.
Yeah.
2 weeks before, and I felt like I trained okay for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be fine. I'm in decent shape. So they put me last leg, saying, "Oh, you're the most in shape, so you do it."
Bring it home, Alan.
It wasn't a. It was a little bit of incline, but it was hot.
Yeah.
No shade. Elevation. I walked a lot.
But you did it.
I did it.
But you did
it. was
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Took me an hour and a half to do my leg, but
You know, every time we go to Tahoe and I get a run in, I'm reminded like, oh, this is a different world.
yeah.
Like I, run enough that I thought I could handle this, but no, it's a kick in the tail.
Yeah, it was brutal. My legs started at like 11:30, so almost midday. They had bussed us to our station at 7 a.m.
So you're just standing
So I
around.
sat there from 7 till 11:30 with like a little box lunch of like a few things, trying to figure out, okay, when do I eat this thing?
Yeah.
With a little shade tent, and just sat for hours. And then finally the run. It was brutal.
Dang, dude.
It was brutal, but I'm glad. I mean, it was fun that we just happened to be there the weekend they were doing this fundraising event.
that's
It's
pretty
like the
cool.
6th year they've put it on. It's to raise money for the conservancies out there. I met people from like Ethiopia that came down to do it. I met a bunch of people, so it was cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
When you were on your leg and you're running on this single track, were you like looking over to the right and like, oh, there's a giraffe? Looking over to the left like, oh, there's a zebra? Or did you have an opportunity to see any animals with your family?
So on that run, I expected to see more wildlife on that run, but the way they do it is they really try to clear the path, because elephants they cannot have out there anywhere, because elephants will kill people.
Yeah.
Obviously lions. And so they start clearing with there's helicopters flying, there's a plane flying, and they're just clearing so that you could see some giraffes out in the distance.
Cool.
And then every 100 yards there's guards with guns and everything. I guess one of the guys I met, they said 2 years ago, like midday, all of a sudden there was the track went right by some big thing of bushes, and like midday a whole pride of lions came walking out of it that had been there all day long, and people had been running by it all day.
Yo, no.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So, but I expected to see more. The cool thing is I did a few runs up on their camp, just like out their road and back. That was a couple miles just to try to acclimatize myself. And giraffes like 15 feet away, zebras right there. So that was pretty cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah.
Did you do any safaris and see any lions?
We did 2 safari days and got to see all the big 5, they call them.
Yeah.
We saw lions. We got to see cheetahs.
Wow. Cape
Buffalo are everywhere. Blown away by how many elephants we saw. I mean, we saw hundreds, if not thousands, of elephants out there.
Oh, that's
and
great.
sometimes 15 feet from the Jeep.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see a kill. I was hoping to see like a lion hunt, but we got to see a couple lions finishing a kill that they had killed like a gazelle the night before. Wow. It was an experience. I would go back in a heartbeat.
That's cool. How'd the kids react?
They loved it.
Yeah.
Our boys loved it. They were troopers. That is a long trip to get over there and to get back. But our first safari day, our youngest was he got the cold too that my wife had, but he was a trooper. I mean, our first safari day, we were out in the Jeep for 12 hours.
Whoa.
We went out at 6 a.m. and didn't get back to camp till 6 in the evening. But we had a picnic lunch out in the Mara.
Yeah.
We got to see a jaguar out there. It was cool. But the boys loved it. I mean, it'll be something they never forget.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, what a trip.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. As a grown man, that sounds awesome and memorable and too much fun.
I loved it. It was awesome.
as someone who likes food a lot, what was the food like in Kenya? I mean, I know this isn't like running related at all, but like, how was the eating?
Like, you need your fuel. You need your fuel.
Exactly. You need your fuel.
So we didn't eat at we ate at a few restaurants, but it was more like the high-end restaurants. So more, I shouldn't say Western. It's like we ate at a super good Indian restaurant in Nairobi.
Okay.
Most of our meals were at their camp, and so they had like some traditional Maasai, like kind of African food, but most of the time they cooked more. They're used to tourists and groups being out there because they also host mission groups out there at their camp. It was still different. I mean, obviously their lasagna is a lot different than like what we picture lasagna, but they did like a pizza night for us out at the pool one day. Our son turned 7 while we were there, so they did like a birthday party for him.
Oh, fun.
We did have some traditional African food that is interesting. It's not bad.
Yeah, just different.
It's just different.
Not what you're used to, for sure.
But where we were was literally like out in the bush, like in Maasai country. Like down the road was traditional Maasai villages and like mud huts, tin roofs.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Were you camping? Like legit camping?
We were glamping.
Okay.
I mean, they run a high-end safari camp out there for like high-end guests. So they put us up in like their chalets. That's like a canvas-sided tent, but has a bathroom attached.
Yeah.
And like
sweet.
the deck looks down on the Mara. Like the sunrises were epic every morning. So yeah, it was kind of like camping, but we're in beds and we were glamping for sure.
And were the guards keeping you safe?
Yeah, so every night they've guards walk you back to your chalet. But I mean, you'd hear lions roaring off in the distance. I mean, you'll hear hyenas every night. You hear them out wandering around. There's one night something was eating something, chewing on something outside.
Wow.
But yeah. I mean, our boys loved it though. I mean, they just lay in bed and just think it was like the coolest thing ever.
That is the coolest thing ever.
It was an experience.
Oh, sounds like you were part of an amazing community during that stretch of time.
Like our friends that live out there, what they run out there is really cool. I mean, we'll go back for sure. Yeah. I would like to go back with a group and actually do some mission work. They run a health clinic over there and an elementary school, and we did like one day of helping a little bit, but I would like to take a group back and actually do some mission work.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I just picture Alan, giving some physical therapy to like the next generation of marathon champion Kenyan runners.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Those Kenyans are fast. The group that won the relay was like basically hired for Kenyan runners to come run, because there is a pretty big prize for it. I guess the winner gets like a prize bull, which is huge for Maasai people. Yeah. So the group that wanted to win it like pretty much hired these 4 Kenyan runners, and they were coming through their legs at like 40 minutes. They were flying.
12.5K.
40, 45 minutes, I think they were coming through. Like
I can barely get a 10K in that.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they were
on flat ground at no elevation.
They were flying. But like we were all sitting there waiting at our station, and all of a sudden their third leg is coming in, and it's like,
okay,
cool.
Yeah.
See you guys at the end.
And then the next people weren't coming through for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. Oh, that's awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of community, out there in Kenya, back here in Chico, how does Inspire Physical Therapy fit into Chico's running scene this next year, and what are you excited about in 2026?
So we're definitely I need to text Sean, actually. I was just thinking about that today. We'll sponsor all the Fleet Feet events again. I talked to Melissa a little bit about being some sort of a sponsor for Bidwell Run Club somehow. I love sponsoring the events. I love being at them. I love being around so we can make it easy for people to get help that are feeling pain issues that are stopping them from running. My goal is just to keep helping more and more people in that group, like in that community.
I love it. And how can runners work with you?
The easiest, simplest way to get in is either call our office or you go to our website, inspireptchico.com, and there's a request appointment form. If you fill that out, Shay runs with Bidwell Run Club some. If you guys-
Shay
Hignall, yeah.
Superstar.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know she
So
worked
Shay
with you.
works for me. She does some of our front office stuff, as well as Julianne, who's going to start doing some running too. She did the first fall classic marathon a couple years ago. But either one of them, like as soon as someone fills out a form, like they're on the phone with them pretty quick to look at scheduling. And so that's the easiest. You don't need a referral. That's what I always preach to people. You don't need to jump through hoops. Just call us.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And what is that phone number?
Our office number is 530-433-5924.
Can you give that one more time?
530-433-5924. And it's all over the website. Some people have my personal cell phone number, which is totally fine too. I still get people calling me on that. That's what I started with. So if people have that, they can always call that too. It's not a problem.
Awesome. Yeah. And those of you who are on Instagram, there is an Inspire PT Instagram account too. So check that out.
Shay runs that.
Yep.
Shay's great. She does all our social media stuff. So yeah.
Awesome.
She's great. She's got a really talented eye for photos. She takes some incredible pictures.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, and it's almost time to wrap this puppy up.
Yeah.
But before we have a special segment.
Yeah.
We always gotta pay attention to it.
It's time for the rapid fire questions for Alan here.
Let's do it.
So these are just fun questions. Answer them however you see fit.
Okay.
First question: favorite trail or place to run? Doesn't have to be in Chico. It can be anywhere that you've run or a trail that you like or whatever that might be.
I love like what I did this morning. Annie B, Bloody Pin, Down Guardians. I have not explored that much of Upper Park. I just did Legacy Loop last Sunday
that awesome?
with Kevin, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
And we did it because my calves were hurting so bad. I was like, I can't go up Bloody Pin today. So he's like, okay, let's go Legacy Loop. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. I mean, that was awesome.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I've done some on the north side, but I mean, coming down Guardians early morning, you
awesome.
can't beat.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
We were talking
So true.
yesterday that maybe the best view or favorite view in the park is at the top of Bloody Pin and Guardian, right at that intersection. Like you look back down on the valley, you just get this beautiful view of Chico and, the mountains on the other side of the valley. And, when there's a fog and you get up above it, you can see the fog just sitting on top of everything.
The picture I took this morning was from right there. And the mountains had snow on them right now. I mean, it's just like looking back on that, you can't beat that. And to have that in our backyard.
Yeah.
And growing up in Paradise, I had never been up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's right there. I mean, I hadn't been up there till this last year.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Paradise has some incredible places as well, as far as like mountains and canyons and trails that you can get to. So, I mean, I think it's understandable that you're just really starting to dive in to Upper Bidwell Park.
It's been cool though.
Yeah. Very good. All right, next one. When you're out, if you're out for a solo run, I know sometimes I see that you post runs on Strava early in the morning. I imagine some of those are solo missions.
Mm-hmm.
When you go out, are you putting something on headphones and listening, or are you au naturel, raw dogging it with your thoughts?
Raw dogging it.
Yeah.
I rarely listen to music.
Okay.
And I think it's because I just like some quiet.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I love talking to people all day long. It's like with the kids and with my wife, with my patients, but
that's
I like
the time.
my own thoughts for a little while.
Very good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very good. Okay. So, what's the best piece of running advice you've ever received? I know you're, only been running for a couple years now, but what's the best piece of running advice you've ever received?
I think early on it was don't compare yourself to other runners and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I follow a lot of people on Strava that are really fast.
It's frustrating.
And I'm not fast.
Yeah.
And at first I was so worried about like watching my watch, like what pace am I at? And I'm like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go run.
Yeah.
And if today I feel like I'm going to go a little faster, I'll go a little faster. If
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm slower, like I just want to get out there.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. On the flip side of things, you have a very unique perspective, right? You're a runner and you're also a PT. So you have this, vast knowledge of how the body works. What's the first piece of advice you would give somebody who's just starting their running journey?
Start slow. I think we touched on that earlier. You can't just go run 10 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start slow and keep strength training. Don't give that up.
Yes.
Or if you haven't started it, start slow with running and start strength training.
Yeah.
And you'll avoid a lot of issues.
Yes. Well, injury avoidance is huge.
Prevention and avoidance is way easier than fix.
Yeah. Proactive instead of reactive?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, then what is one strength exercise every runner should do?
If you're going to pick only one, hit the glutes.
Something with the glutes?
Yep, something with the glutes.
Squats,
Lunges.
Yes,
I love split squat, like elevated split squats, Bulgarian split squats.
Okay.
Single leg too. Like that's huge. That's why I like Bulgarians or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because in running, you're never on 2 feet at once.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one.
Okay.
So you just finished a big run, whether it was one like you did today or maybe after the Trail Classic, and it's time to refuel. What are you going to eat?
If it's morning, coffee and some sort of carb. Like today I got home and my wife had made biscuits and gravy. It was beautiful.
Yes.
If it's like after the bidwell, like after like midday lunch, like a burrito.
Okay.
Some sort of Mexican food.
Okay. Yeah. And we did mention it earlier. Alan is plant-based.
Yeah.
So what is your preferred burrito? Filling, like what are you getting in it?
I mean, the nice thing with Mexican food, to go plant-based pretty easy.
Yeah.
Unless like someplace obviously like beans have lard and stuff, so we try to avoid that. But beans, rice, some sort of salsa of some sort.
Are we just spicy or mild?
I'm mild.
Okay.
I'm weak. I mean, cilantro, onions, the works.
Okay.
Yeah, I just avoid the dairy.
Okay.
Keep the meat and the dairy out, and I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting because you asked that same question to Nick yesterday out on the trails, and he said, is it morning or is it afternoon?
Yeah. Because, I wouldn't eat a burrito
time?
this morning when I got back. But morning, I love a morning run and then coffee. And I wanted to buy a donut on the way home, but I did not.
I'm always like on these morning runs, like I'm always thinking about hot coffee, like 5 minutes into the run, like, oh man, I could really do a hot coffee right now.
I do always drink coffee before though.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because some people wait till after. Unless I go like from my house like at 5 and just do like a 3 mile, I'll have it when I get back. But this morning I got up and had a cup before.
Yeah, you have to.
But cold mornings, that's all I think about.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Hot coffee, hot shower. Hot coffee, hot shower.
I used to do that when I'd bike too, because we used to bike early morning. I was on Saturdays up in Paradise, and like that one we started early enough that I wouldn't drink before. So the whole ride back up Honey Run, I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for my coffee.
Yeah. Oh, love me a good coffee.
Yeah, that's like Pete when we were running together. I got my hot coffee waiting for me in the truck.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. I got a coffee. Alan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Let's go, Alan.
You've shared a lot of really great information about injury prevention, dealing with injuries that you do have, recovery stuff, and then just like general insight about being healthy. And I think that's something that, going into 2026, we're all wanting to continue to be healthy, make good decisions. And I'm going to remember now that motion is lotion.
That's right. You're never going to forget it.
That's right.
I appreciate you guys having me on here, though. That was cool.
Yeah, it's so neat to gain an insight into how you grew your business and the personal connections that you strive for. It's admirable. And this community's lucky to have you. And it's neat that you take part in running as well. So really cool to get to know you more today, and just mad respect for what you're about. So thanks for popping on.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, of course. So again, look up Alan's office, Inspire Physical Therapy. And also, as a reminder, we are giving away a pair of red framed plant-based Tifosi sunglasses. If you are interested in picking these up, if you want to be a contestant in our giveaway, when you see this post on Instagram, on the Pod on the Run Instagram account, make a reply that shares your worst running injury or your most memorable running injury, whichever you feel like sharing. We'll put you in the drawing. We will be picking the winner next Sunday, January 25th. So make sure you get your response up there under this post as soon as you can. And before we sign off, I do want to make an announcement. This is hot off the presses.
How'd we do out there? Up in
Real
Reading.
Deal Neil comes in, Reading Marathon, official time, 3 hours and 11 minutes.
Amazing.
Which is a PR according to Strava. So great work. That's netted him 8th overall
Incredible.
and first in his age group.
That's
Nice.
not surprised.
Not surprised at all. Real deal. Excellent job. Congratulations. And I think the only thing to say to you, Neil, is on to Boston.
On to Boston. Let's go. Did
Boston.
Nimai post his results yet?
I am not seeing Nimai yet. Scrolling Strava. Not seeing Nimai's time posting up yet. Nope. Not that I can see.
Well, that's amazing. Look
Yeah.
at this sweet little plaque that Neil got too.
Yeah, right?
Let's go, dude.
Pretty awesome. So congratulations, Neil. Nobody's surprised. We're just proud of you, man.
Dude, the real deal Neil is the real deal. Let's go.
He is.
What a savage.
Yep. Well, Ross, we'll do it again soon. Look for the post on Instagram to win these nice Tifosi sunglasses.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Dr. Hivale. Motion is lotion.
Lotion is lotion. It's that time.
Catch you on the next one.
You got it.
Nailed it.